is Milan Kabata, currently the head of marketing at Dairyland. I hope all of you know Dairyland. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. Yeah.
Who is Milan Kabata beyond the job title?
Okay, that's interesting. So, away from my job title, I'm just I want to call myself young. So, Milan Kabata is a young lady who's very ambitious and fun, lighthearted. I like people. I like socializing with people. And I kind of feel like I'm more spirited when I'm around crowds of people and getting to know people, exploring. I love dancing. I love hanging out. Clubs no longer have dancing floors, but yeah, I would really love to go out one time and just have a good time like the old good days. So dancing is a big one for me. Recently, I started my wellness journey in the gym. So I'm a gym goer, 7 months now, and I love it. So wellness is also a big part of who I am. So yeah.
Share with us something unique or unexpected about yourself.
Sometimes in rooms, I'm the underdog because I'm so small in person, like I'm so tiny. And when I go to boardrooms, people think I'm so young and so small. But then I have another side of me. I'm very assertive and I'm very strict at times. My team could attest to that. So I get people off guard sometimes. So some people think I'm like mellow and calm and tame. And then when they get to know me, I can be a bit fiery. So yeah.
If you had to describe your personality in 2 words, what would they be?
I'm like a cocktail, honestly. Because sometimes at work, I'm required to be this serious person in a leadership role and stuff like that. But I'm also a creative at heart and I'm young at heart. So I kind of feel like I'm a cocktail of a person. So I can play very well in an assertive, serious environment, as well as when it's down for a good time, I want to have a good time as well. So yeah.
Briefly tell us about your childhood, family, and school life.
Okay. So I grew up in a very simple family. We were 2 girls for the long time of our lives, but right now we are 4 siblings. So I have my parents, I have 2 sisters and a brother. I'm the second born and the black sheep of the family, fortunately or unfortunately. So I'm in between 2 very stellar students academically. So my sister is like a lawyer, my brother is like a data scientist, and me, I'm just a marketer having a good time. So, and then I have a smaller sister. I grew up in a very simple childhood in Banana, Kiambu. My dad was a very assertive person. My mom was fun and lighthearted. Grew up in a very non-strict home. We were friends. My parents are my very good friends even now. I kind of feel like that upbringing has raised me to be a person who's very genuine and also give chances, especially because I'm team leading now and I'm directing people in their roles and stuff like that. So my parents were very accommodating. School life, I was not the best student. I was an average student, nothing to write home about, but they were very supportive. When I said I wanted to get into my field, whatever my hobbies were, they were very supportive. My parents were not the strict kind, so I never hid any boys from my parents. I never hid the fact that I started drinking. We were that just kind of family. We were very unconventional, so to speak, but it helped me grow up very confident. It helped me grow up very open. You know, I also want to raise my kids in that way so that they can be confident and not feel like they need to hide anything from their parents. So my childhood was cool and fun, and it was just typical childhood. Maybe one thing I'd say is that I grew up speaking in fluent Kikuyu because in our home we never spoke Swahili or English. That was for school. So I'm a very fluent Kikuyu speaker, to date. So that I'm proud about,
What's one surprising thing about you that doesn't show up on social media?
I think because I'm in a leadership role, and of course being a woman and a young woman at that, is a lot of, you're required to grow up very fast. So I grew up very fast because I started my career when I was very young. So what people might not know about me is my vulnerable side. So I can be very vulnerable at times. So the Milan that shows up at the office and the Milan that is at home or is social, they are very, very different. So I'm a lover, I'm a feeler, I'm a Cancer, by the way. So I'm those people.
How did you get into the agency world, and what has that experience been like so far?
Honestly, agency I stumbled on it through peers at the time. And of course, I was in college and I was broke and my friends were making money from the promo jobs. I'm sure you know the girls who give flyers and then the clubs doing like the in-bar activations. And it was for an extra buck. So I was introduced to my first activation, which was a Safaricom activation at the time. I remember I was 17. I didn't even have an ID. So when I went for the interview, they were like, are you even legal? I was like, that doesn't matter. I'm done with high school. Give me the job, right? And I did it because I was broke. But the more I did it, the more I loved how I was interacting with people. I liked the money, of course, because I was young and I was making money. And then my discipline as well showed up. So I learned a lot about myself, my organization skills, how good I was with people. I was a very good salesperson. And the agency that had given me the opportunity at the time, they identified me and marked me. And when I was looking for internship, I went to them and I was like, I'm doing mass comm. Could you give me an opportunity? And they're like, fine. I went into the agency as an intern, and fortunately or unfortunately, my account manager at the time was pregnant at the time. And when she went for maternity, the agency was like, you've been here a while, so why don't you just take over? You've learned everything. So that's how I ended up in agency for 4 years and ended up being an agency girl for the next 8. Yeah.
What's one thing you didn't see coming in your journey but have now grown to love?
I was not used to work-life balance. In agency, you're with your laptop at a wedding, at a rorasho, just in case the client calls. Then I came to the corporate space, and then I learned that at 4:30 p.m. people shut their laptops and they go home and have a life. That was interesting. I was like, what am I supposed to do with myself, right? So that was a good thing because I had to learn new hobbies. I had to go back into a social life that was healthy and create one because I didn't have one. It was more circling around work. So the corporate space, because of its slowness, the good thing about it being a bit slower than agency, it taught me to be a bit more independent and to explore more options. And so I'm not just working. What else can I do away from work? Because after work, there's so much time now. Yeah.
How do you balance pushing creative boundaries while staying commercially viable?
With marketing now, my honest opinion is that marketing has watered down over the years because we've lost either that we've been concentrating so much on the boundary that you're talking about, and we've lost the audacity that we had as marketers. And I feel like as even internally, as we're coming up with projects, we want to run away from thinking inside or outside the box, and we try to think without a box to sort of reshape what people know marketing as. So we're not following any rule book, we're not trying to follow any trend, we're just trying to create something that people can look at and say, this is different, can we also do this? So we're trying to be trendsetters as well as thought leaders, so that we are not coming up with campaigns that people have heard about, seen about. We want to be fresh, and we want something that people can look at and say, this is how marketing was back in the day. Honestly, that's my vision. Yeah.
Has there ever been a campaign that just didn't land as expected?
There are many, especially when I was in agency. Of course, you spend a lot of time thinking that a campaign is amazing. You know, when you're in a room, everything sounds legit, it's gonna work. And then when you go into the market, it backfires, yeah? So I remember there's a time I was working, I don't know whether I can mention the brands, BAT. I was managing it as an account manager. And you know, because of the Tobacco Control Act, you can't really advertise per se. So it was very challenging to see how to market to smokers without being on TV, radio, out of home, nothing. So you really had to edge out, how am I going to reach consumers? And we came up with this funny project where we were doing an ad on 3D, the VR kits. So we literally would go to a kiosk and have people wear whatever. But then because of the universe of the kiosks, there are so many kiosks in Kenya. We cannot hit all the 1 million kiosks. It was very limiting in success. And I kind of felt like it was so ahead of its time when we were thinking about it. But in execution, it was not as pomp as we thought about it. I feel the cure to that is taking account of what went well and what could have gone better, so that every single time you're starting a project next, you start from what went wrong with the other one, so that you don't fall into the same mistakes. So you do not move on very quickly. You try to study and see what didn't work. What could have worked is good, but let's focus on what didn't work, so that you pick it, either recycle it or reshape it in some form, or do away with the elements that didn't work. That will always make sure that you don't have repetitive mistakes in campaigns. Yeah.
What's the most surprising thing you've learned about leading both a team and a brand in this space?
The most challenging, honestly, it's not easy. So number one, I inherited my team when I came into Dairyland. So just getting accustomed to their culture, that's a challenge because you're coming from somewhere completely different and you have to certainly acclimatize to a new place, but at the same time not lose yourself. That can be difficult to create that balance. But I think also the fact that I'm young, not many people who are young are in leadership roles. So sometimes there can be a streak of doubt where, are you too young to handle this? Are you able to do this? So being able to prove myself over and over again. So every new campaign is me trying to prove myself. So that can be a challenge at times because it's not always smooth. The work is beautiful at the end, but the work that goes into it is quite a lot. Yeah.
How do you balance your creativity with the structure and expectations of leading a major brand?
I'll tell you a short story. So when I went for my interview at Dairyland, one of the questions my ND asked me was, now that you're in agency people are all over the place, how are you going to survive here? And I said, what do you mean? He said, I think you'll resign because here you're going to get bored. We don't have all those exciting things that agency people have, And my answer to that was, I don't have to leave because I'll bring the agency energy to the space. So that's exactly what I did. So when I got the job, I didn't let go of my energy, my thought process, and the culture that I'd gotten from agency. I just wanted to add the corporate side on top of my agency. So I didn't separate. I just wanted to be a dual, an agency girl with a bit of corporate touch. So I brought my energy in, and I've been trying to sort of affect everyone around my space. So different HODs in my organization, they know me for being bubbly and all this. So I try to plan lunches and stuff like that. So I try to carry the energy I got from agency and what I enjoyed, and I've brought it to this other side. So I'm able to enjoy corporate as well. Yeah.
Do you still have a personal creative outlet, or does all your energy now go into this role?
To be honest, in the last 3 years, I have poured my creativity mostly in the projects that I've been working on. But I've also been working on my personal brands, just trying to create avenues for myself where I'm doing things like strategy, consultancy for people, just trying to brainstorm and help people do a bit of creative thinking, right? So away from Dairyland, I still want to jog my mind around different industries and different specs for me to also become relevant and to also know other industries, not just focus on confectionery. So, but the gym, honestly, right now, the wellness space has become something that I've really fallen in love with. So it's not creative, but it gives me something to look forward to at the end of the day. It's challenging, it's relaxing, it helps me network as well. So gym has slowly become one of my favorite things as well. Yeah.
What's one belief you had to unlearn to grow in your career?
A lot of women feel that they need to be liked, especially in their workspace. So you go into a workspace thinking that the more you are liked, the more correct you are. That couldn't be further from the truth. It's good to stand your ground. It's good to be assertive. And sometimes assertion in the office by a woman is seen as anger and emotion. But it is good to override and to go past the need to feel liked. It is not important to be liked. It is important to do the right thing. It is important to be professional. It is important to show up as the most real, authentic self. And if somebody does not like you and it's a personal feeling within the workspace, then that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with people not liking you, so long as you're not broken the law. I kind of feel like if you want to make a mark wherever you are, being liked should be the least of your concerns. Yeah.
What's one gem of wisdom that completely changed how you see life?
I'll say this, and I'll keep repeating it. I feel like the audacity that has slowly watered down over the years in marketing is my driving force as we speak. I feel like the marketing space has slowly played safe. When I was new in marketing, when I was that small 17, 18-year-old girl, the adverts that were out, the projects and the campaigns were very audacious, very well thought through. They were no one cared. Marketing is supposed to be something edgy, something that leaves somebody wondering, And I kind of feel like over the years, marketing has not been able to defend itself so very well amongst other departments, because marketing is seen as, if we are cutting budgets, marketing is the first budget we cut. And I think there's an opportunity there for marketers to be able to run back or journey back into that audacity that we had, challenging status quo. I don't see that a lot. I see a lot of copy pasting in campaigns. I see a lot of laxity. I see a lot of, let me play safe because I don't want to get into trouble. But as we know, even when you look at a global standard, when you look at how iPhone and Samsung, for example, would fight it out in the Western space, it's very audacious. when you look at Pepsi and Coca-Cola, the ads that were being done were crazy. But I kind of feel like all of us are just trying to play safe, and that takes away from what real marketing is. And I hope that young marketers, as well as the ones that are marketing now, we can find forums where we can challenge each other in terms of what can we do to get back. Because there's a time we were there. Yeah, the good old blue band days and adverts and stuff like that. We were there. But slowly we've been overtaken by events, or maybe just feeling like playing safe is what is safe. And I feel like marketing and safe do not exist in the same, cannot coexist at all. Yeah.
You've referred to your mom as your best friend on social media. What's one invaluable lesson she's taught you?
My mom taught me humility. I think one of the things that I saw my mom growing up, my mom helped a lot of people within our community get jobs and stuff like that at the time. She was in the NGO space, and she's such a selfless, humble person. And what she taught us, me and my siblings as well, is just that energy of humility. That humility, you don't have to be the loudest in the room. You don't have to be, when you pass, people see you, it's not a must. But if you're true to yourself and you're humble, things come to you. You actually attract things. And I've actually seen this work for her life, and I've seen it when I apply it. I have seen it work for me. So I think humility is the biggest thing my mom has instilled in me. Yeah.
What's your take on the future of marketing in Kenya, especially in the FMCG space?
I feel like when COVID happened, COVID brought a lot of volume to marketing in terms of how important marketing is, because everything stopped and they depended on being visible, on our phones, on our tablets, and whatnot. I feel like the future of marketing in Kenya is one that requires people to do a lot of homework, because now you can no longer do guesswork. There's the entry of the digital space. The digital space is so fast changing that we can no longer just depend on just sleeping and waking up and copy pasting. So I feel the future of marketing in Kenya is a lot of research based. It's going to be a lot of global trends following. So you have to be upbeat in terms of what is happening in the world. I also feel the future of marketing is very inclusive. We can no longer be tone deaf. We can no longer be the business stands for this, that. People do not care. Most of marketing now and brands focus on community. So if your brand is not community based or community driven, it becomes irrelevant. So I feel like the three key things is community, there's relevance, and there's research. Inclusivity is one that we cannot also leave. So if you're not inclusive as a brand, it takes seconds to kill your brand like this. So yeah, that's what I feel is the future of marketing.
Are there any trends you think marketers in Kenya should be paying closer attention to?
I feel that, let me talk from a business perspective. I feel like the marketing budgets are not taken as seriously as they should be, because when you look at when you put it on a scale in terms of different departments and how the apportioning of the budgets, marketing is sort of taken as a by the way instead of being the key driver, because marketing's role in an organization is to create demand. And if you do not have the demand, then all the other functions are not well tailored, But I kind of feel like the science or the way people think, especially managers and business owners, they still feel like marketing is a by the way. And I feel that's a big, big challenge, because globally, when you look at big brands, look at Kim Kardashian, for example, with schemes and what have you, you'd always see that marketing goes fast, everything else takes the lead and everything else follows. So I kind of feel there needs to be a lot of education around apportioning of marketing budgets and just the respect of what marketing does for organizations, because I kind of feel like we are still in a place where we feel like marketing is, but if we felt the importance of it and acted like it, most businesses would be making quadruple of what they're making.
What does staying truly authentic look like in your work?
Authenticity in marketing for me means being true and not trying to look at what the other person is doing. It's very easy for marketers to continuously compare themselves to their competitor, who are the brands within their categories. But I think that's the mistake, because every single organization and every single category has their own identity. If we could all concentrate on creating our own identity, we wouldn't have to fight it out, because every single category and every single product has who you're talking to. And I feel like authenticity for me means don't look at the other person. It's like when you're doing a swimming competition, you don't concentrate on what the other person is doing. You just do your thing. again, I feel like authenticity is understanding what the objective of what you're trying to push is. Because if you understand the objective, whether you're trying to be in people's spaces, or you're trying to impact the community, or you're trying to help out the less fortunate, or you're trying to make money, it needs to be very clear what the objective is, because people can see through a campaign. If it is purely a money-making business, people will see through it. If it is about an emotional campaign, you have to go at it 100% and make it purely emotional. You cannot clamp everything up. You have to be very clear on the objective, what you want to achieve, and concentrate and narrow down on it. I believe authenticity to me is tunnel vision. Don't look at the noise. Don't listen to the noise. People are doing this. They are big and they are doing this. That's okay. I want to create an identity, something that people can look at and say, we've not seen this before, and we actually think it works. And then once it works, it establishes you as a thought leader, as a person who can carve out a new path for others to follow as well. Yeah.
How have you handled patriarchy in your workplaces?
So patriarchy, the agents of patriarchy is bullies within the space, in the workspace. I feel that to deal with a bully is to be yourself 100% and never make it 96%. You stand on business, 10 toes, right? So that people understand your value system, the things that you will take, the ones that you will not take, and consistency here is a key ingredient. Once you fall off the wagon all the time, sometimes you can take a hit, sometimes you can't. There's an influx of emotions with people. They say sometimes you can, but if you're clear that you're assertive, that you know what you want, that you know what you're doing, people tend to clear off your space because bullies don't like being held accountable. And people who have robbed systems by creating blueprints that are not favorable to women have done it because women fall into the same trap of wanting to be liked and wanting to not get into trouble. But if you find people, the few who can be activists and say, no, I'm not agreeable to this, this is how I want to do it. It's a big, big, important thing in corporate to be yourself and to not shy away from saying no. And assertiveness is a skill that needs to be polished over and over and over again.
What would you say has been your biggest achievement and your biggest L so far?
Be honest, my biggest achievement is when I made marketing manager of Dairyland. That was a big, big thing for me because I feel like I had written my vision board down and I wanted to be a head of marketing when I was 35. And I got the job when I was 27. So that was 7 years ahead of time. So that was a big win and still is a big win. My biggest failure in life, maybe it's coming. Yeah, maybe it's coming. I don't think I've failed per se. Maybe my biggest failure, iko hapo mbele. Yeah.
What does excellence mean to you personally, and how do you strive to embody it in your work?
Excellence for me is being a good person to people, a good person that accommodates others, a good person that is patient with others, a person that also is patient with themselves. That's excellence to me because anybody can have a degree, anybody can have a good job title. But excellence for me means I accommodate and I am a person that people would vouch for over and over again in every room that I am or not. They will say the same things about me, positive things, because that's who I am and that's my identity. So if I know that is what is happening when I'm not there, then it means I have achieved excellence. Yeah.
Which music, book, TV show, movie, or podcast are you listening to right now?
I'm not into ons, by the way. Now that everyone is ons, I'll be authentic. I like dancehall music because I like dancing. I also like a bit of hip hop. That's good music. Good old hip hop, like Lil Wayne kind of music. Currently on Netflix, I'm watching Forever. I'm watching it for the second time because it's so amazing. And I've also recently started rewatching Vampire Diaries, so from season 1. So that's exciting. What else? Music, podcasts. Do I listen to any podcasts? Not really. Yeah. There's none that is like coming to my mind. Yeah.
Which song, album, movie best describes your life and why?
I think like my life is so chaotic right now. There's a lot happening. Not necessarily bad or good, but it's like a cocktail. So it will probably be a mixtape. We just don't know a mixtape by which DJ.
Given a chance to collaborate with a brand or personality, who would it be and why? In Kenya or globally?
To be honest, I am obsessed with L'Oreal. Yeah, so I would love to collaborate with them a lot. We have in small ways, but L'Oreal is one of my dream companies, like operationally, the product lines, their way of working, their global standards. Like that's a dream partnership for sure. Yeah, L'Oreal.